This time on Custom Works, we're going to be looking at the dashboard and how we made it right from start to finish. You may notice in this episode a few continuity errors. Things are there, then they're not there. Things appear, then disappear. Hey, even as I'm making this introduction now, where the hell is the car? Anyway, hope you enjoy the episode. Here we go. Alright, so this is the dashboard in the London taxi, and it's a taxi I think from an Austin Maestro. It really is vile. So I'm going to make a cover for this. Already I've put these bits of wood in, starting to mock some out. I'll probably put a piece of wood across here to get the top level and then bring it maybe down to there, have two sections there, something like that. But first of all, I'm going to make, what I'm going to do, just cover it in cardboard, cover that in fiberglass and make a nice sort of rigid frame to work to that I know is going to fit over this dash when it's finished. Okay then, so as you could probably see in the time lapse, what we did, we built this first in cardboard, then covered it in some bits of sheet plastic, just a few bits of Foamex. I glued those on, then a bit of car body filler, makes it a little bit stiffer again, and then I've covered it in a couple of coats of fiberglass mat and resin. Now I'm going to see if I can take it off, and hopefully once I take this off, this is a shape that's formed to the dashboard, and we'll be able to sort of jazz this up with some vents and stuff, and probably an opening section here so you can still get to the heater controls, and a fake glove box there. Something that matches the taxi once it's finished as a pickup a lot better than the, I think it's an Austin Maestro dash that's actually in a taxi, and you don't want any bits of Austin Maestro anywhere. Right, so here we go. Now, obviously, when we're doing this, putting it onto the dashboard, so we know that this will fit back on the dashboard and fits over it, but also I masked up all the, you know, the indicator stalks and everything. So if you do get fiberglass resin and anything like that, it causes a lot of trouble. It will stick anything to anything very quickly. I've sanded this up. You know, I put the rough filler on it. I've sanded it literally just with the angle grinder. Still, I'm just trying to get the rough shape of it. I've offered it back up, and I've decided to put slightly lazier radius on both these ends. I've done that in silver tape and fiberglass, and put some Bondo over it just to make sure it's rigid, that when I take it out of the car it doesn't lose its shape. I've also made it a bit thicker at the top so we can have a nicer sort of rolled top edge to it, and it's looking pretty good. What I'll be doing next is just filling this, making it a little bit more presentable, but still only probably just finishing it in 40 grit. Then we'll be adding the details for the glove box on this side, and then mirroring that. Wow, massive wiring loom there. I don't know what we're going to do with all of that. So yeah, glove box on here, nice sort of rounded edges, and also I'm going to mirror that over this side with a hole aperture for so you can see the original gauges of the taxi. And also here I'm going to make an opening panel in here so you can access the taxi's heater controls, stuff like that, and I think the hazard warning lights in there as well. But yeah, it's going to look pretty cool when it's done. Hey, right, so here we are. We've got the old, what's it called, dashboard in the vice here. And we've put the, you know, some details to it, make it look a bit more like the actual sort of dashboard. And I've not actually copied an F100 dashboard, but I've sort of had elements of. So what I did, once I'd smoothed out what we had before in the rough filler, I glued some bits of plywood on. And then I've cut this hole so you can see the original gauges of the taxi. You know, this is not a big show winning car, it's just got a look about the part. So we keep all the original gauges. And then this bar is going to open up to get to the heater controls. What I'm going to do here though is put like I'm going to rib this, and what I'll be doing that with is, again, using this sort of cheap and nasty chrome trim, and I'll be gluing that and that'll make like a nice grill down there. As with everything on this build though, this is not the thing we'll actually be using. What we'll actually be using is we'll take a mould off of this in fiberglass, and then we can make this dashboard over and over and over again to fit over the taxi dashboard, because they're always the same. They're out of an Austin Maestro and they are truly a monstrosity. Right, also notice I'm covered in dust and I've got big lines down my face. That's because I've been very sensible and wearing a respirator while I was doing all this. It has been incredibly dusty. If you look at the floor, well, it's like sand. There's so much Bondo dust. But using 40 grit and using the DA sander, you know, you can get this sort of shape really, really quickly. So yeah, that's why I don't look my best. So before you ever put any of this on anything, if you're going to follow any of this as like an instructional video, always go with a bit of the old, what's it called, contact adhesive spray, and what that does, it just sort of de-dusts the surface, and then this sticks really well. So I'm going to stick a load of this on and then we'll trim it on. Okay, and so we've got those on there, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to trim them up, and we'll see what it looks like. There we go, you know, we've got to remove this stuff off it, but that's looking pretty good. We'll fill this line, or I might even cut that line a little bit deeper so it looks like a, you know, like a proper line. And actually, I might do that because that's probably where it'll open. So this bit will go down and then go back up, magnetic lock into place, and that's how you'll access all of the heater controls. So I'm going to add, this looks so good, going to add a little bit more, so I'm going to put a couple of stripes on the glove box, and that should do for trim. Alright, and so more mould release mayhem. This is the dashboard, the dashboard mould, and we've laid this up, and hopefully this is just going to pop out of here like doing, and then there it is, our cool dashboard. What don't they vote? So there it is, we've got the dashboard out, a few little bits on it, but we can soon bodywork this, and this is going to look awesome. Okay, and so that's the dashboard popped out of the mould. Now, between then and the next bit you're going to see, obviously I bodyworked that and we painted it in a contrasting colour to what the outside of the truck's going to be. But you know, you don't want to see hours of paint prep, so here we go. Skip through time, and we're to this bit. So now we're inside the car, Before, when I made this, I mocked it up. I levelled from the top of the instrument binnacle all the way across. I levelled it up with a piece of timber. I've renewed that piece of timber and put that in. That's just screwed down, but that will be actually bonded to the dash. And that just gives a nice level base for this top edge to sit against. So let's see if all our measurements and moulds have been accurate. And there it is. The dashboard is in. On that side, it's masked up at the minute, but where the instruments are still in there. You can still see the taxi instruments. Obviously, steering wheel goes on that. Really, if you need to be told that, you're on the wrong channel. Yeah, it's all looking good. This part of the actual taxi dash is still visible, but because we've painted it black, it sort of just vanishes into the shadows, sort of thing. So what we'll be doing next is marking and drilling and putting some nice slot head screws along the top of here to hold the dash down, and then maybe making another mount for lower down, just so it's not like all rattly when we're driving it along. Okay, let's get to it. So we've drilled the holes and we've got nice countersinks. Now we're going to put those nice little brass screws in with the brass cups. But just for now, I'm going to stick a couple of normal wood screws in, because these are probably going to have to come out if we've got to make brackets for behind it or something like that. So it's important just to go in nice and temporarily. And also, these have got a PZ2 head on them. So they're a lot easier to put in than those slot head screws. Like, they're only ever going in once, believe me. Okay, so that's it for Custom Works this week. We'll be back next week, and next week we're going to be doing, I think, the door cards, some more interior details, how to get a really good finish on a low budget. Until then, see you next week. If you like what you've seen, click subscribe, press the bell icon for regular updates, and give us a thumbs up and leave comments below. Until then, stay safe, get out in the garage and build something.